Hello my friends. Iowa is a Midwestern state in the United States with an area of about 35.8 million acres. Of that, up to 31.3 million acres of land in the state is used for agricultural production. For many years now, Iowa has always been one of the states with the highest agricultural revenue in the country, second only to California. In 2021, the state's total agricultural sales is $26.4 billion, less than half that of California. According to USDA statistics, as of mid-2022, there are about 85,000 active farms in Iowa, and the average size of a farm in this state is about 345 acres. Currently, operations on farms in Iowa are mainly corn, soybean, oat, raising pigs, cattle, and dairy production. In addition, agriculture in Iowa is also known for its large apple and cherry farms. Every year, tens of thousands of ranchers in Iowa provide full-time and part-time employment to approximately 801,000 workers, and the state's agricultural workforce accounts for about 4.5% of the population. We're currently on a pig farm in Washington County, southwest Iowa. It is home to 115 sows, and each year about 2,000 piglets are born on this farm. At this farm, hundreds of piglets will be exclusively breastfed for a month before they are fed other foods. In recent years, Iowa has always been the state with the largest number of pigs in the country, with about 24 million pigs. They are distributed on 5,418 farms. Second on this list is Minnesota, with about 8.7 million pigs. When the piglets reach 5 weeks of age, they will be fed the same feed as the sow, and this will be maintained for about a month before they are separated for fattening. These are hundreds of 3-month-old pigs on a farm in Hamilton County, eastern Iowa. All these pigs have just been separated from the mother pig and will begin to enter the fattening stage. Currently, most pig farms in Iowa have a big population, ranging from 300 to 5,000 heads. Large-scale pig farms with a population of more than 5,000 make up only about 20% of the state's pig farms. At Iowa hog farms, pigs are considered eligible for harvest once they reach 6 to 7 months of age and weigh between 150 and 190 pounds. This is what happens when hundreds of pigs on this farm are eligible for the meat harvest. All of them will be transported by truck to the pork factory, and this will be the last trip for these pigs. According to statistics, in 2021, in the United States, there are about 2,780 pork production facilities in operation, and each hour, 1,106 pigs are slaughtered across the country. Every year, the number of pigs slaughtered across the country is between 127 and 130 million heads. In addition to modern pig farms, there are also dozens of free-range pig farms in Iowa. However, these are usually small-scale pig farms, and the number of pigs only fluctuates in the range of a few dozen. Goodbye pig farms. We will now go to cattle farms in Iowa to see how the process of raising millions of cattle happens. Unlike the cattle herds in Texas or Nebraska, most cattle in Iowa are raised on factory farms and rarely graze on large pastures. In recent years, most cattle in Iowa have been purchased from cattle ranchers in other states. Hundreds of these calves are preparing to be shipped to cattle ranchers in Iowa. According to USDA statistics, as of June 2022, there are about 19,000 active cattle ranchers in Iowa, and the number of cattle in the state is about 3.85 million heads. This is a cattle ranch in Ringgold County, southern Iowa, and all of the cattle here are raised for the purpose of harvesting meat. Every day, the workers on this farm will provide food and water for the cattle instead of herding them to the vast grasslands. Basically, the meat quality of cattle raised in barns will not be as high as that of cattle grazing on pasture. According to statistics, in 2021, the cattle industry in Iowa usually brings in about 17,000 jobs, and the value that cattle brings to this state is about $4.1 billion. This is a cattle ranch in Sioux County, south of Iowa. Here, hundreds of cattle spend most of their lives living in barns or concentrated enclosures. They are only herded out into the pasture about twice a week, and this period does not last more than 3 hours. This is what happens when the cows are eligible for meat. They are shipped to slaughterhouses and end up here. In 2021, approximately 895,000 beef cattle were slaughtered in Iowa, and the state's beef production is approximately 667 million pounds, ranking 12th in the nation for beef production. Next, we will go to the fields of western Iowa to see how artichokes are cultivated and harvested. June to August is usually a good time to start the process of growing artichokes in the fields of Iowa. According to USDA statistics, in 2021, there are 5 active artichoke farms in Iowa, and the area of artichoke cultivation in this state is about 27 acres, accounting for 1% of the area planted with this plant in the country. Currently, most artichoke varieties grown in the United States require about 160 to 180 days to be eligible for harvest. This is what happens in the artichoke fields in Iowa when the harvest season begins. Dozens of migrant workers will cut down the artichoke buds and deliver them to the site for packaging. According to statistics, in 2021, the production of artichokes in Iowa is about 189,000 pounds. Meanwhile, the production of artichokes harvested in the state of California amounted to 87 million pounds, accounting for 96% of the national production. At some farms, thousands of artichoke buds, after being harvested, will be packed right in the field before being shipped to farmers' markets. In addition, a large amount of artichokes will also be sent to factories to be processed into other products, such as beverages or pharmaceuticals. When it comes to Iowa agriculture, we can't help but mention the vast cornfields, because this is considered a symbol of the agricultural industry in this state. For about 20 years, Iowa has always been the leading state in the country in corn production. According to statistics, in 2021, up to 13.3 million acres of farmland in Iowa is used to grow corn, and the harvest in this state is about 2.4 billion bushels, accounting for 16% of the national production. Not only famous for its vast cornfields, Iowa is always mentioned when we talk about soybean production in the United States. Currently, 10 million acres of farmland is used to grow soybeans in the state, and the soybean yield in Iowa is 631 million bushels, or 14% of the national production. In recent years, agricultural land in Iowa has always accounted for 85 to 87% of the state's area, and the state is second only to Nebraska in the percentage of land used for agricultural production. Hello my friends, today we are going to the US state of Louisiana to see how farming and livestock work here. Agriculture is one of Louisiana's most important industries, ranking in the top 3 along with petrochemicals and tourism. According to USDA statistics, at the beginning of 2022, there are about 31,000 operating farms in Louisiana, with a total area of about 8.3 million acres, accounting for 29% of the state's land area. Currently, operations on farms in Louisiana are mainly growing corn, sugarcane, rice, raising cattle, pigs, and poultry. In addition, the state is also famous for catching some seafood species, such as shrimp, oysters, and crabs. Each year, the Louisiana shrimp industry creates approximately 15,000 jobs and contributes $1.4 billion in state revenue. We are currently on a pig farm in southwestern Louisiana. Here, more than 200 pigs are raised on a free-range farm. They are free to dig into the ground and play in a large protected area. It is estimated that there are about 175 pig farms in Louisiana that are raising pigs. This way, the number of pigs raised on the free range in this state is about 4,000. Every day, hundreds of pigs at this farm will be herded into the forest next to the farm to freely feed. Here, they can eat some grass and nuts. In addition, farmers will also bring pellets to the place to supplement the diet of pigs. Most of the feed used for pigs here is corn, soybeans, and a mixture of sweet potato flour. Therefore, the quality of pork on these farms is always much higher than that of pigs kept in a barn. According to statistics, in 2021, there are about 63,000 pig farms of various sizes operating in the United States, of which Iowa is the state with the largest number of pig farms in the country, with about 5,700 farms. This translates to about 24 million heads. In addition to free-range pig farms, there are also about 680 other pig farms operating in Louisiana of various sizes. In recent years in the United States, there have always been about 2,700 pig slaughter facilities in operation, and an average of about 1,100 pigs are slaughtered every hour across the country. It is estimated that around 120 to 130 million pigs are slaughtered across the country each year, and the average annual pork production is about 25 million pounds, contributing $57 billion to the country's GDP. This is a free-range chicken farm located west of New Orleans in Louisiana. There are about 350 hens raised here for the purpose of harvesting eggs. Just like the pig farm in the beginning of the video, every morning hundreds of chickens at this farm are also released into the pasture to freely dig for insects and supplement forage. The freedom to forage on a large pasture means most of the food is derived from nature, making the quality of eggs at these chicken farms highly appreciated, and they are almost always sold out. In addition to foraging on their own in the pasture, the chickens at this farm are also supplemented with other foods, mainly corn and cereals. Even the leftovers from human meals will be used to feed the chickens. According to the Louisiana Agricultural Center, in 2021, there are about 1,500 active chicken farms in the state, and only about 8% of them are free-range farms. In recent years, the average amount of chickens produced in Louisiana has fluctuated between 870 and 890 million pounds, and the state's revenue from the chicken industry is about $780 million annually. According to USDA statistics, in 2021, in the United States, there are around 233,000 active chicken farms, and only 1.7% of them are free-range chicken farms. Most chickens raised in the United States are raised in factory farms with absolutely no access to the outdoors. Goodbye livestock farms. We will now go to the sugarcane fields of Louisiana to see how the process of cultivating and harvesting millions of tons of sugarcane happens. The end of July is usually the time when sugarcane planting takes place in most fields in Louisiana. According to statistics, in 2021, in Louisiana, there are about 403,000 acres of farmland used to grow sugarcane, and this is the state with the second largest sugarcane area in the country, after Florida. Today, the majority of Louisiana's sugarcane farms are concentrated in the southern part of Pointe Coupee County. The area of sugarcane grown in this county accounts for about 22% of the cane growing area of the state. Most of the sugarcane varieties currently grown in Louisiana take about 11 to 13 months to be harvested. July to October every year is the time when millions of tons of sugarcane is ready to be harvested. In 2021, cane production in Louisiana is 13.3 million tons, and cane production in Florida is about 17.3 million tons. After harvesting, thousands of tons of sugarcane will be poured into these wagons before being transported to the sugar factory. This is an exterior view of a sugar mill in Louisiana. Currently, in Louisiana, there are 11 operating sugar factories, and the annual production in this state is about 1.5 million tonnes, accounting for 20% of the country's cane sugar production. In addition to the vast sugarcane fields, Louisiana's agriculture is also famous for its rice fields. Currently, this state ranks third among the states with the largest rice production in the country. Leading the list are Arkansas and California. According to data reported in 2019, in Louisiana, there are 425,000 acres of farmland used for rice cultivation, and the number of active rice farms in this state is 823 farms. Each year, the United States produces 21 billion pounds of rice, and about 55% of it is consumed domestically, with the remainder exported to 120 other countries. In addition, the rice industry generates about $34 billion a year in the United States and provides about 125,000 jobs. Farewell to the farms on the mainland of Louisiana. We will now go into the waters to see how the process of catching millions of shrimp here is done. Every day, these fishermen will sail into the sea about 70 miles from the mainland to catch shrimp. These are recreational shrimp fishers who use trawls that are about 16 to 25 feet in length and are limited to no more than 250 pounds of shrimp per day per boat. Although the nets yield a lot of fish, all of these fish will be used to feed the seagulls. The main aim of these fishermen is shrimp and crab. For many years now, Louisiana has always been the state with the largest shrimp production in the country, with about 110 million pounds caught each year. In addition to shrimp, crayfish is also a species that is widely farmed and caught in Louisiana. Currently, Louisiana is always leading in the country in terms of crayfish production. An estimated 125 million pounds of crayfish are harvested here each year. After the crayfish are dumped out of this trap, the fishermen will continue to bait the trap and put them under the water to prepare for the next harvest. Currently, in Louisiana, there are about 1,000 crayfish fishermen and about 1,300 crayfish farmers. After transporting, millions of crayfish will be placed in these mesh bags and transported to the processing plant.